Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. It is I, Resler, and welcome back to Ostriv. I've done this game a couple times before, actually, on the channel, um, but it's since then it's changed a lot. There have been some big updates. The graphics are still pretty much the same. They've actually improved them a little bit. The water was always pretty amazing here. It's a very pretty game, but in terms of they don't just throw you at in a settler's camp anymore. Usually, when you chose a map, they just arbitrarily chose a place. Now you have a choice. So now you choose you click this kind of like patron, and you place down a place. But that's pretty much where the similarities in. Ostriv is a lot more. While patron is very much supply chain and is a very good game. Don't get me wrong. Ostriv really takes you down to the bare bones. Like you'll see them like actually putting like logs in the building. They have to gather all the material, and the materials make sense and such. So you have to make sure that you have everything ready to go. And there's transport things to think about. And so and such. And you see like reeds right here along the bank. That's needed for like thatched for like your houses for the roofs. And then there's coin. There's a coin system, but it's not really in my opinion, at least fully fleshed out. And so this is the map we're going to start on. There are not a lot of maps yet. They're still working on this. This game obviously is still early access, but from what I understand, there it's I got this back when it was like barely even getting off the ground. It was one dude at that time. As far as I know, he's hired some more people. The only and I what brought me back to playing this game is one, it's a good game, and two, the guy who's developing it, the one guy who's been doing who started it and did it, he is actually from the Ukraine, and Ukraine is in the news now. I don't know if he's still in the Ukraine. Maybe he's in the United States now, because in his bio about himself about making it, he said where he's from. He didn't say where he lived. Um, so I'm not sure if he's still there. Yeah, if he moved to the United States, I'm guessing, you know, considering that this game is, that his grasp on English is good because there's no, this. I play games that are made by foreign people, and sometimes you can tell because you're just like, what? Not in terms of like bad game design, but sometimes the wording is a little bit, you raise like an eyebrow and going, I'm not sure that's how you say that word, because English isn't their first language, understandably so. So that is that. But considering his grasp on the language and how well this game is made, I'm guessing he probably is either American educated or lives in an English speaking country of some sort, or he just really is good at studying. I'm actually going to pause this right here. So Ostriv. Now Ostriv takes place, as you can see, there's a time. It says 1721 up there, and the months go by and such, and the weather changes. Now 1721. Um, I'm not sure what it was like in the Ukraine at that time. I need to read up on my history probably a little bit. It might not have even been a country at the time. It still might have been part of the Russian Empire. But the values in this game, in terms of like your settlers and such, are very much 17 are very much probably a cultural thing, according to those friends of mine from the Ukraine who I've talked to. This is a cultural thing. It's also a time thing. So you'll see a lot of jobs that women do now that they don't do in this game because back then it was a man's job, and there are some and you can hire women for jobs in this game. It's just there are some jobs you can't hire them for, construction being one of them, forestry, blacksmithing, things that women can do and do nowadays, but back then were man jobs, so don't read too much into that, being that it's March right now and it's March in the game, and that is International Women's Month, but it's don't read too much into it. The settings are I'm not able to change them. Even in the game, when you get into the government side of the game, when you build a town hall and you can control seasonal hiring and things like that, you still can't put women on the job, which I don't understand. But I put them in as many jobs as I can. I'll have a woman do thatching. All women farmers. And I'll even uncheck the box, say that, don't even bother hiring men. If you look back at some of the old Ostriv videos, I'll link one at the end. I'll link the first one or the second one, maybe actually, if you want to take a look back at those. But this is the more updated version. And so we're gonna get started here. So we're gonna build the camp around here. This is a good area of thatch. Trees are right here. So you have this. Now this comes with tents and supply areas, and the idea is to build houses. So you want to have actually you should probably get a little bit more space. So you want to have space to build houses, because as the houses get built, the tents disappear. So actually we should probably get some space. Although you don't want to be too far away. Actually, this is a good amount of space right here. So let's go like this. Let's put it right. Houses are big, though. Let's see if we can do it over here. Places occupied, inaccessible. That's something I still don't understand in this game. Certain places are like inaccessible, and you're like, how? Like I didn't think so, but okay. Gosh, not a lot of good places with it. See, there are lots of open spaces, but the problem is the trees are really far away. You know what? We're going to do it here, and we'll make it work. So let's go here where there's space. We could actually put it. We could put it like kind of inland, and then build houses along there. Also, the paths here, you'll see as they walk with past those paths, the paths get defined by how they walk. So let's go right there, and let's keeping it paused, and let's get. So you want to get production going. So it actually gives you a little bit some very basic hints up here. So you want to get forestry. Forestry is the very first thing you want to do, because if you don't have wood, you might as well just be like, nope. So let's see here. Let's rotate the building, and let's put it right here. Actually, we want to chop down some trees. Yeah, let's chop down some trees. So let's put it like, how far away do I have to get it before I can build it? From the houses. Okay. Can't be placed on trees. Is that the case? Okay. Let's place it as close to trees as possible. Boom. Let's play. So we'll get that going. Something else that now this next. Hold on, I'll pause it for a sec. Now this next thing I'm going to build. You used to not have to build this right away. You need to build it eventually. But things have changed now. Because they don't give you as many nails anymore. So you have to build a smithy. And put the smithy over here. So you want the smithy placed, and the smithy comes with. In the smithy, you need to build a charcoal pile so they have charcoal to make things. So you need to put that near the smithy. And that's an instant build. And then another thing you need, which is also an instant build, is you need a clay pit for clay. Clay is also another building material. Let's put the clay pit next to the charcoal pit, actually. But the clay pit was usually done. Maybe they just have to go over there and click it. So let's get some things done. Let's get some, well, not done. Let's get some houses. Actually, let's finish the production buildings up. So the last building that we need to build for production, at least at this point, because everything is pretty good, is a thatchery. Let's see, where is the thatchery? It's probably staring at me, and you're like, hey, moron, it's right there. You can't see it. Are you stupid? Next, actually. Oh, it's right there. I'm not blind. Yeah. Okay, so let's put the thatchery right here. Yeah, it's near a lot of reeds. Actually, let's not do that. Let's cancel that production. Let's play so we can get that canceled. Okay, now let's pause again. Production. And the reason I cancel, I'm gonna put you're going, yeah, you're placing it in the same area. The reason is I want it here because she has to walk down there, and there's an entrance right there. So we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna place now I'm gonna place houses. So I'm gonna place now. There are two options. You can do uh, village with a garden, village without a garden. Now it's the same cost regardless. Village with a garden though makes food a lot easier. Now you might say, well then why would you ever build a village without a garden? Because once you get food production up and running, villages without gardens don't take as much space. So if you're trying to pack people in, a village without a garden might be a good bet. But starting out for right now, we're gonna give everybody a garden. So you get a garden, you get a garden, you all get gardens. Now I can't remember the amount of houses. Well, actually, let's just count the tents. 3, 6, 9. So we need 9 houses. Okay. Another one. Whoa. Yeah, and these snap. You don't have to snap them. I snap them though together because it makes things easier. Okay. You can snap them on corners like this. I'm not going to do that though because I've done that before and I found that is usually not very beneficial. So we'll do that. And now yeah. So now we're going to pause all the houses. We're going to pause all the houses except for that one last house I put down because that one's going to be the hardest. I want them to get started on that. That will also become the camp leader's house. The first house that's built, the camp leader has. And so I'm going to put him. Actually, let's pause his house too. Let's put him right here. So let's get this house in the queue. Okay, everything's queued up and ready to go, and let's start. So what happens is as these things are built, then you hire people into them. So builders are automatically hired and drawn from the populace. So you'll see we have people here. So we have this guy. He's in construction. Oh, warm clothes. Yeah, so they added warm clothes quality. You used to have clothes, and you had like shoes. You didn't have like an out of number though. You had like a quality assigned to it though. And I always thought it was kind of out of 5. I never really talked about it very much though. But now they have it. So basically, while they're building that, you have 9 tents, people there. You have a camp center, which this is replaced with a town center, and then you have camp storage. So you see, we got quite a few nails and thatch, but you're gonna need more of it, and the iron is what you use to produce nails. And then you got this. Well, then you got the campfire where people chill and such and cook things. And mostly chill actually. You got a well, which is good. So good to get a second well eventually, but water. And then you have this cart storage. This is carts that they use to take things places. And these wear down after a while. So that's where you look into getting carpentry, but that's a little ways down the road. So anyway, so they're going to build the forester. You can increase priority of buildings too. You just I just choose not to. They know what they're doing. So this is what I mean by seeing it step by step. You know, in other things, they just hammer at it, and the walls magically come up. In this one, you're actually going to see them doing it every step by step, bringing stuff over and such. So you're going to see as basic as you see them building the foundation, and you click on this building, you see what it needs. Well, it still needs more wood, but all the nails are here. And so they are actually doing this. And then, so people will continually bring things over. And then once everything is there, they'll all build it. Or they'll start working on another one of the buildings. Like, for example, here's the smithy. It's in the queue, right? So they all work on basically pretty much one job. Um, and and so as resources are in universe as resources are delivered, they work. And so it's the same here. You know, they don't want to just like all go out and deliver resources and then all do the work at one time. They figure they can do it as the stuff arrives. So there's one more thing of wood coming, or it's here. So let's see, this guy's dropping wood off. So all resources are collected, right? So now they don't need any more resources. So now they go on to the next uh, project, which, huh. Well, I hope they do the clay pit soon, because in order to build a house, you need to have clay. So it's kind of this thought of like, it's great, but now that's a new thing. Put on hold is not allowing people to move into houses. That actually might be useful at times. Not right now. You need everyone to get in the house before winter rolls back around. Luckily, it's March though, so they got plenty of time. So I'll speed this up. I just wanted you to kind of see what it looks like. And so, yeah, the progress bar is still something that, I think this is the overall progress, but it's got all these weird bars, which is kind of weird. So let's speed it up. I'm not going to speed it up too fast so you can kind of see what they're going. See they're putting down the, now the framing, so to speak. Oh yeah, and everyone has a work day too. So if you look at these guys, if you click on them, taking rest, see. So they do take a breaks, and they get to work. Now sometimes you'll see men and women go into tents, and all of a sudden there's another villager added to the mix. If you get my drift, there are 33 people right now, and these people do have kids. So what the working age is, I'm not sure. Um, I've seen workers show up, and I still can't figure out who it was exactly. Um, but let's see. Those are both girls. Um, it's a girl. I think that's a 7-year-old boy. Well, we're gonna have to wait for now. So you see that's done. So now you go here and you go, okay. So we're gonna hire 2 foresters, and they're gonna get, and they'll take 2 people. Create a clay pit for your houses. That's a great idea. Um, let's pause this so we can get that clay pit built. Yeah. Actually, let's pause everything so we can get things built in the order we want them to. Because I want the smithy built after this. So, create a clay pit to dig clay for your houses. So let's get these guys. I'm not sure. Clay pits usually were built instantly, so I'm not sure what's happening here. Oh, they're just digging it out. Okay. Clay pit done. Okay, let's unpause the smithy now. Go. Okay, and then the thatchery, and then the house in the center of town. This house. That will be the one that's built. Okay. So they're going to build the smithy now. So you don't want to just hire too liberally because if you take too many people, like particular people for particular jobs, then you have a shortage of construction workers, and they'll still build. It's just it will take a lot longer. So let's speed it up here. So for the smithy, we need wood and we need clay and nails, of course. But all the nails, I believe, are there. So when they get yeah. So clay is still required, 1,500 clay and 2,600 wood. A lot of wood is required for the smithy too to burn the charcoal thing here. Now the charcoal thing is done by laborers. In other words, you don't assign people to this; they're just laborers that do it, and that can be people from all walks of life. So it's not uncommon to see tons of women carrying tons of stacks of firewood over to the charcoal pit, which I'm going to demolish for now because it needs to be placed. You know what? It's working just fine. So forget what I said. I was going to place it with it out here so people had an easier time of getting there, but I'm going to do it anyways. Let's empty first. You know what? Never mind. I'm not even going to, I'm just going to, I'm going to let them do it. If it's working for them. Can't find firewood. That will be fixed. So, so your forester, yeah, is pretty much for everything. Now, you don't need bark right away. I tend to have them get bark once they get pretty efficient. Your foresters can actually can get scarily efficient. And some people said, well, maybe you like could not hire foresters that when they get too efficient. Problem is, your foresters are going to be needed at all times. You can't just hire and unhire. It just doesn't work well. So your foresters usually, okay, so they're taking a schedule synced up. At a one time where I hired foresters, and by some sad, by some sad, excuse me, coincidence. So by some sad coincidence, I hired two guys who had opposite schedules. So why one was working, one was taking rest, and that's fine, except for the fact that it takes two of them to carry a huge tree trunk back to the forester set. So they barely could ever carry any wood back, and not and see once it's at the forester set, then it's fine. Then it only takes one person to cut stuff. So they barely ever got logs back. But if they're on the same schedule as these guys are, they can really start getting very, very quickly efficient. Because once they get wood chopped, they have sufficient firewood and sufficient planks, and things are built. Then they start collecting stuff because it's not necessarily being used. It's not being used to the point where they're running low on wood because you're not building nearly as much, and all they're doing is chopping the firewood that's only used certain times. So your forester can get somewhat very efficient, but you want your forester to be efficient because eventually, you're going to need their wood. You're going to have to build something that's pretty extensive. So you see the thatchery. Let's pause it here. So the thatchery is built. So this is where I go to hire options. Hey, and I go, okay, no men, only women, and hire woman, and play, and there she is. So she's going to come and do the job now. She's going to work. Yeah. Where is she? Oh, there she is. And so she'll make thatch. And your thatchery, regardless if you're building or not, usually does very well. So here's the house. Now houses are fun to watch being built. I'm gonna speed it up though, so you see. So it starts out a lot like the forester, but houses require thatch, wood, clay, and nails. So so the houses require a lot of resources. Um, in terms of just the number of resources and just the uh, the scope. Oh, they're building. No, they got almost enough firewood here. So he's not doing anything right now because he doesn't have enough charcoal. But I'm going to keep him there because eventually he'll go. Because what he can do while he's waiting is he can go get iron, which he has done. And then once the charcoal thing is burned, he'll need that. Eventually, getting two charcoal pits is not a bad idea, but we're not at that point. We're not at that point yet. Um, like I said, eventually getting a farm is a good idea because gardens can't sustain them, but we're not at that point yet. It starts out with quite a bit of food. Quite a bit of food. Um, so yeah, they're building pretty well here. And what I like about the AI in this game is they seem to be in some games you're just thinking like, okay, we're building houses for all of you so you don't get cold. Like, why are you not working faster? Like, this is for you. Yeah. So the AI in this game, for lack of a better term, seem to be, I guess, motivated. They know what's at stake, and they're like, yeah, okay, we need these houses. So you see, as they're putting wood down, they're putting clay down in certain places. This guy is, for some reason, working by himself because his schedule's different. He put up some framing. Okay, now it's his turn to rest. Now here comes the Thatcher. So she's gonna go in there. She's gonna say, okay, I need, I need to go get some reeds. So I'm gonna go down to the store here, pick some reeds, head back and make some thatch. So as you see, and the charcoal pile is burning. So once this is done, this guy's gonna have plenty of charcoal, and then he'll start making nails and metal parts. And he has to make metal parts to make nails, and eventually he can make horseshoes. But we don't have any horses yet, and we're probably not going to have horses for a while. See, when it comes to animals, you can order animals, and and your villagers will go and look for them or catch them. if they're wild animals, so to speak. But most animals that you are looking for, you're going to have to trade for them, like horses, oxen, things like that. Chickens, on the other hand, well, yeah. But everything here is also very precise in terms of things like you need reeds to do the thatch, so you need a thatchery. If you want to fish, you need to have a boat builder to build a boat so they can go fishing. So this house is almost done, actually. Um, just finishing up a couple things. There's the thatch. So you see that. As the framework goes up for the roof. Now they changed the house building. It used to be, the roof used to be not as involved. It used to be very basic roof framing. Now it's a lot more advanced. Um, the thatch also looks different, at least before it's on top of the house. Let's see what happens when it shows up on top of the house. Does it look different on top of the house too? Um, oh, it does look a little bit different. It's a little bit improved texture. So that house is built. So let's build this house. Let's build the house that needs to be removed now. They were already on it, and they're like, yeah, we know. So here's the first house. So Camp Center. So this is the mayor, so to speak. Now, are there elections? I don't know. Um, so the Camp Center. And now might think, so what's his job? Does he just chill in his house all day? No, he actually does construction work. You'll see him do things. It's just he happens to be the mayor at this time. So it's kind of like, he's the mayor, but you know, or de facto mayor. I think he's the leader, so to speak. I don't think they would necessarily call him mayor at this point, because this is not even close to what a town is. So, um, so let's get this really going fast. So as you can see, now the charcoal pit is done. So this guy's got charcoal. He's got everything he needs. And the laborers, which that being the women that brought all the wood to the charcoal pit, they'll clear the charcoal pit and bring wood again, and they'll also take the charcoal. And the way they clear the charcoal pit is by taking charcoal. So they'll actually come and deliver it to the smithy, and then he doesn't have to. So all he has to do is stay inside the smithy and just smith things. So metal parts, and so he can make nails, and then metal parts just for the sake of making metal parts. So, but his job of making nails, at least for the foreseeable future, is not going to be slowing down at all. With all the houses we're building, we need him making nails. So, now, it may look like I'm strategically building the houses in a certain way. I placed them strategically. The order I'm building them, though, actually, to be honest, is coincidental. So I'm not. So why I would say that there are strategies to where I build things, or what order I build them in. The fact of the matter is there is and there isn't, not always. This is a happy coincidence, but it is something I should probably do intentionally more often. Now I want to build this house, and the villagers seem to know. And the reason I'm building this one is because the smithy's right there. So, who lives here? There should be a forester. You would hope, at least. Construction. Okay, well, you know, live where you want, where you need to. But, yeah, you can't tell which villagers to live in certain houses. Like, okay, forester, like you know, your job is like 5 feet away. Let's put you in this house. Clay, the clay dude, your job is further away. Just saying. Let's get that house built, people. the next house we're going to do is going to be down here near the Thatchery so that she has a place nearby. Although, is your wife the Thatcher? No, okay. Okay, so this house is next. Now, could I unpause all the houses? Yes, in theory, I could unpause every single house. The reason I don't is because, not because they'd be confused. They're going to work on just one house. And I think after this, I probably will unpause all the houses and just let them go in whatever order they want. But leading up to this, um, I want to have a little semblance of control on which houses they build um, until we're ready to just have them built. So that's why I got this one over here. The Thatcher moved in there. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just unpause every house. And we're just going to zoom out here and let them go to work. So you see there are paths that are getting uh, made from people's routes to work or to home, or so on and so forth. So everyone goes to the town center right now. Yeah, and you saw, and a lot of women will spend their day sitting there when they don't have jobs and just chatting, I guess. I mean, yeah, they're all conversing back and forth. So, but the men go there when they're taking the rest as well. So it's kind of, so you saw in the house menu there was a tavern, and I think the tavern is a place you build that replaces the campfire as a place where people go, or maybe it just segregates the society further with men going to the tavern. Although you sit down at the campfire and say, "So what are you guys talking about?" And they're probably gonna look at each other and think like we were talking about like stuff that you weren't part of the entire day while you were out building somebody's house or forestry or smithy or whatever. Their house built. So as you see, the tents around the town center are disappearing, and there are 4 tents left, and we got 4 houses left to be built. So, anyways, this is somewhat a slow, monotonous process. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna get some of this done, and then I'll come back to this game. So I hope you enjoyed Ostriv. If you haven't, if you're interested in the game, and interested in it, I would suggest jump over to Steam. It's on the Steam store. It's early access. It's called Ostriv, Ostriv. And it's a great game if you like Banished, if you like Patron, if you like Life is Feudal, any games like that, or if you just want a very, very casual, because it can be played casually and relaxing. City building game. This is the game for you. It's really pretty. It's really not super hard to learn. It might look complicated, but it's really easy. It guides you very easily. Some of the observations I made were just things I learned from playing it a couple times. So if my if my amount of knowledge, meager as it was, seems overwhelming, it's things you'll pick up really quickly. So I hope you enjoyed Ostriv. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and make sure most of all, to hit the subscribe button. So guys, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Until next time, this is Resler, walking off.